Uh-huh. This kicks us out. I'm going to laugh. Webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. Of course, it's streaming live on Facebook. What's up, Michael?
What is up, Kolby?
Beats.
What are those beats?
It's all fresh beats, man. Fresh beats as people are tuning in as we get ready to murder this Facebook Live. Uh-huh. And for everybody tuning in, thank you for being so patient for today. It's been a little nuts. Uh-huh. Everybody tuning in, I see you. I see the eyeballs coming in. I see your eyeballs coming in. All right, man. All right. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games till the beats come down. It's all fun and games till the beats come down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to see you. Michael, you're on live. What is good? I got to unmute you. Let's try it again.
I'm good now that I'm not muted.
You're good, man. You're good. Dude, it's great to see you, man.
Thank
you for spending some time with me today, man.
Dude, of course. No worries.
I love it. So everybody that is tuning in live, it is another Off the Rack Meat Cleaver Studios interview session. This one I always say it's like a super special guest because I know their friends and like family and people that I really like. This one is another special guest, and I'm honored to have him on the show. Today, my friends, is Reezy Resells. Michael, the king of the flippity flip, does more in the flip game than any human being I've ever seen. And welcome to your first Off the Rack live video cast here in the home office, man.
Dude, thank you, man. Thanks for the warm welcome. It's funny you say that. I always I do the same thing on my Monday night show. I'm like, today we have a super special guest. I'm like, well, all our guests are amazing. So
every one of you, you're so special. You're also special. I'm so special. I rode the short bus, but it's okay, man. My mom told me I was going to be something when I grew up. I believed her long enough. So for people that do not know who you are, if when people ask you who you are, people stop you because they've seen your videos and all the stuff, the virality that you've had. How do you tell people who it is you are, who you are, and what you do?
It's hard to answer that in like the short answer, but basically, I grew up in a broken family, parents divorced, drug addictions, prison, like low income at best. I've been homeless. I lived in hotels, dropped out of high school, had a kid when I was 16, got married when I was 16, and right around, a little over 13 years ago, I started selling full-time on Amazon and eBay. Still married to the same wife. This year, we'll have our 18-year marriage anniversary. We're actually going to be in Paris, which is pretty awesome.
My man, congratulations, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. But basically, I didn't have a lot of options in life. I could have went a lot of different ways. I know a lot of people did. But my last job, a little over 13 years ago, I worked in a skate shop and made $18,000 a year. Tried going to college, didn't really like it, just wasn't interesting for me. And then I sold candy and all kinds of stuff. I sold weed when I was a kid, never really got caught or gotten any real trouble, so thank God for that. But then when eBay came out, started going hard on eBay, and then eventually I figured out Amazon and books specifically inside of Amazon. And in the last 13 years, I've sold over 5 million on Amazon alone, at a profit margin of probably 35% profit or something. Uh-huh. So I'm not super rich or anything. I live in a very expensive area in Santa Cruz, California, but I make YouTube videos and I teach other people how to sell online, to do what I do, to break free of the 9-to-5, and just own your own life. Because if you just have that 9-to-5, and then you live your life when you're off work, I wouldn't really say that's living your life. Like I want to do great things in my life, and they're going to take a lot of time and focus. And so I have to be in control of my own time. And that's kind of my message, is just, take your time back, stick it to the man, make as much money as you want, live where you want to live, travel if you want to travel, do all that stuff.
Let me unpack some of that stuff, dude, because there's a lot of stuff inside of that. I get asked the one of the number one questions I used to get asked. Oh wait, hold on a minute. If those of you are tuning in on the podcast, you won't be able to see this. I got to put my sunglasses on, man. Like, what's up, dude? I can't be out swagged on my own show. What's up, dude? What's up?
I'm feeling like, dude, I need one of those hats now. We could be the Blues Brothers.
I got some. I got a custom hat line, man. I'll sort you out. The number one question I used to get asked. It's in the top two. I get asked this question almost more than anything, and it's probably at least 5 or 6 times a week. Is, do you know any quick ways to make money? Do you know any easy ways to make money? And I always laugh when I hear that. I'm like, dude, if there was, don't you think we would all be doing it?
Right.
And I got asked the question enough to where I started to think about it and say, okay, instead of being a smart ass about it, let me really think about it. Let me put some time into it. Let me see what it is I can come up with that really answers that question. And as I started looking at it, I was like, well, at one point I sold a bunch of stuff on eBay, and a buddy of mine was like, you know what? Books are an easy way to kind of get into the game online. It's very inexpensive. So if your core demographic doesn't have money to start, it's an easy way to start. And I was like, you know what? Let me look at this. So I started looking at books. I've got about 10,000 records. I was in the music business a long time, and books are like records. They've either been played to hell or they've never been opened. So you get a book, it's brand new. Like, the person got it as a gift, sat on the shelf, they never read it, and they give it to Goodwill. So I started noticing some trends, and I was like, okay. So I started recording us, like, literally going into Goodwill's, finding books, scanning just with my phone. Didn't even have a third-party scanner. And then taking that, it was like, well, how can I do more than books? Then I got into retail arbitrage, specifically in like discount retailers, Kohl's, Marshalls, not Goodwills, but like the step above Goodwills.
Yeah, like
the
Ross,
end of the
Marshalls.
Yeah, the end of the chain. Then I started looking at baby toys and that stuff, and then I realized I could flip for a higher margin point. It cost me more up front, but the flip value was higher. So I started documenting that. In the middle of all of that, I found your videos.
Oh, nice.
A buddy of mine was like, hey, you know what you need to do is get this third-party scanner, and he turned me on to one of your videos. And here I was thinking, I was like, dude, I got this game. Like, I got this. Like, I'm going to nail this, dude. I am so on top. Nobody's doing this. And then I got to your videos, and there was probably 200 of them. And I'm like, gosh, I'm so far behind. And then I started like really looking at what you were doing. And it was like the opportunity for what it is that people can do is so big. But that's how I got turned on to it. It was literally in the middle of this, trying to build this program to help people. I got turned on to what you were doing and realized how big of an opportunity and how large that scale was, man.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I have a video that I made. I think it's called Get on Social Media Now. But it's probably my most passionate video. I recorded it. It's insane, but I recorded it like 2 days after Gary V gave me like a big shout out. He actually put my Twitter handle in a video and some of my video clips.
Yeah, the flip challenge.
Yeah, the flip challenge video.
Yep.
And which was crazy because there was clips from my Snapchat in that video, which means that people that work for Vayner were following my Snapchat and recorded it months ago from my Snapchat and then put it in that video. And I just got so juiced off of that. And I was getting like, I got 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in one day after he gave me the shout out. And just people started messaging me. And then just like a couple days go by and I'm getting like 10 messages a day from people that are like, it's working. Like, you're insane. Like, I can't believe it's actually work. Like, I just got a book I'm going to sell for $100 for a quarter, you know? And so I was like super, I'm sure you know this feeling you get when you help people. Yep. And I'm like, social media, I'm new to this feeling. I don't come from like a religious family. My family was actually really selfish. I was never taught to like help people and how that could help your soul, you know, your spirit.
Yep.
And my brain was just like firing on 1,000 pistons. And I recorded this video while I was driving. And it was just like, what the hell are you doing? It's 2017. It was 2017 at the time. I was like, we're living in the future. And a lot of you guys are living in the past still. You're acting like it's 1970 still. You still, you know, filling out job applications, you know, just looking on Craigslist or Indeed for a job, like as if you don't have the ability to make your own job, you know, like you're still just on social media as if it was a television. But guess what? It's not a television because you can't broadcast through a television from your living room. And I was just like, you know, reselling online, e-commerce, whatever it is, there's so many different facets of it. And then there's marketing and there's creating media and podcast and YouTube. Like, it's so insane. And I was just like, I'm amazed. If you're not on the internet getting money, what the hell is wrong with you?
That's right.
Like, I don't know what your problem is. Like, but it's the future, and you can get money on the internet. So what the hell are you doing?
Dude, let me ask you this, man. Why do you think it is you've done, how many videos have you done in total? You know?
About 400, maybe a little bit over.
So 400 videos, and I would say there's some, you can learn something in every one of those videos. I'll put all the handles and stuff in the show notes so people can find you. Every one of your videos has something somebody can take away that's a tactic. It's not theory. Like, you can go do whatever it is you're doing. You show people how to do it, and you go do it.
I got a couple of vlogs in there that are pretty much entertainment only, but you're mostly right.
Well, you got your rap videos. You got some stuff with some of the family stuff, but like there's so many things you give away that there's no, like you said, there's no reason why somebody who is really struggling can't go out and make a couple $100 if you just got off your butt. Why do you think it is that people, with all the free resources that are out there, even just the stuff you put out, why do you think people don't take action?
I think a lot of people are imprisoned by their own mind because they have the inability to take risks. I know I have friends that they're smart dudes, but they're like, I'll feed, you can't hang out with me for too long without me like talking business or giving you an idea, or you do something and I'm like, oh dude, you're good at that. You can make that into a business, and they're just like, can't you just drink a beer, Reezy? And I'm like, no. But they always want it fully wrapped to perfection. They always want to know, well, if I did this, like, how would I do this? And when I do this and I do that, and like, is it how's a million questions, right? But it's like, everything that's worth doing has like a million unanswered questions. You just need to do it and like start figuring it out. And that's why it's valuable, or why it's fulfilling, or why people find it entertaining, or whatever it is. Like, the value in it is the unknown. And there's just certain type of people that want everything to be figured out before they roll the dice. Like, you don't know if you're going to hit snake eyes or if you're going to hit sevens, like you have to roll the dice, and people are scared to roll the dice. And a lot of people always say, like, this is a common misconception. I think people think that if you're really well off, like if you have a lot of money, if you have a great family, if you weren't neglected, if like this and this and this, they're like, well, that's a huge benefit. You have this ability. I mean, I'm not talking like your dad gave you a small loan of $1 million, but I mean like the average fine American middle class or upper lower class or whatever. Like, you haven't ever hit rock bottom. You've never had your boats burned. You've never been to the back of the wall. So when the shit hits the fan, you don't know what to do. You're just scared to get in that situation, where when I grew up, the shit was always hitting the fan. It was always, like no food in the fridge, like which bill are they going to shut off? Because let's pay that one. That's the only one that got paid, was the one that was about to be shut off. Like, I was neglected. I grew up like in violence and drugs, and I just never had anything to lose. So I was never scared to take a chance.
Like, so the chips should be against us. Like, I grew up the same way. The chips should have been against us. And it's like always finding yourself in that chaos comes and builds some of the strongest human beings I've ever met. Right. When most of the chips would be stacked, you're like, that guy should never make it.
Yeah. I think that it's two different kinds of chips, external and internal. So like, external chips are, they're stacked against most people, I would say, unless you're just guided all the way, until you're on your own. You're like 25 and then you got to figure it out, and you have been placed somewhere or something. But internal, I think the chips are stacked in your favor the more struggle that you've had. It's just really weird. I don't know. Some people they've never experienced the struggle, and so they're scared, and I've just known nothing but struggle. Now my struggle is that I'm mildly successful, is that I get comfortable too easy.
Yeah.
And I grew up so poor that like my fridge is so full of food I can't even shut the door. I'm like, that's success.
Yeah.
And so like, how do I get past that? I used to be like, why would you buy a Lamborghini? And I'm not saying I want a Lamborghini, but if I was successful enough to where maybe I gave away $100,000 and I did this and I did that. You know, why wouldn't I get a Lamborghini? Nothing wrong with that. But that's like a whole nother level for me. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their own level. And I think it's hard to escape like whatever level you're ingrained into.
Yeah, I'd love to see you stay on the track of giving, where that endorphin feeling of somebody saying, dude, you changed my life. That to me, I mean, there's always that fine balance of capitalism and then helping and volunteerism, because you do have to make money. But it's, I've done over 14,000 pieces of content, and 14,000 pieces of content in 14 years. I give away a ton of stuff. And it's like, I do it for the art of reciprocation, just so people will go use it and then come back and say, man, I did something with it. And there's something heavy to be said about that, especially teaching people that they can make their own money. And like, you know this, right? Is what's more important, man, diapers or formula? Like, and I've been in those scenarios where like I had to choose. I was living in my car. I had my daughter. It's like, which one's more important, diapers or formula? They're both important.
Diapers, because you could get formula from Wick.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I know. Formula. I did formula, but it's one of those things where like you shouldn't have to choose between gas and groceries. Like, I got to go to work. I got to put gas in my car to go to work to make money to buy groceries, but I don't have enough gas to get to work. So it's you know, those struggles. It's being understanding that I can literally take my phone, I can scan books behind me just with the Amazon app.
Right.
And I can see what they're worth, and I can start the process. I can go to Book Scouter and they'll pay for shipping.
Man, there's
no reason.
There's a lot of people that follow me that still work their 9 to 5, and they're not really trying to quit their 9 to 5. They just want to make an extra 500 or 1,000 or whatever a month.
Yep.
And maybe, you know, they'll probably get to a point where they make way more and in less time, and they're not hating their life. So they'll probably quit eventually. But I mean, you know, you're getting paid $100,000 a year, and you have a lot of free time at work. And while you're at work, you're buying stuff off of OfferUp and Craigslist, and you're picking it up on the way to and from work, you know, to flip on Amazon. You're buying printers for $20 or toner for $20 and selling it on eBay or Amazon for 80 or 90 or whatever. Like, that's awesome.
It's crazy, dude. It is crazy. Well, we dove into some things, man, and I wanted to appreciate you spending some time with us. This went a little bit over. Got a special announcement today that Reezy and I have been working on. For those of you who know, we do the Meltdown in the Desert event, June 22nd through 24th here in Phoenix, Arizona. One of the big things I always like to do is figure out ways to give back. And I don't know a guy that has a more tactical plan on helping other people get out of where they are outside of mindset, like financial. Once I get the mindset right, how do I get the money right, than Reezy. And we've been talking for the past, 4 months or so. And he's a dude that I honor, and I respect what he's doing and what he shares and helps others do. And he's going to come down with his family, and he's going to do a very tactical workshop. We've added him to the Meltdown lineup, where if you've got any questions about how to start a business, essentially buying things in your local area and finding like opportunities to make extra cash, doing that, to dig out of where you are. If you're a teacher right now in Arizona, I'm going to put some special stuff together for you. Reezy and I will buy your ticket to come to the Meltdown. Again, if you are a teacher and you need to make some extra cash, and you are in Arizona specifically, or Colorado, because I think Colorado is supporting us right now and they're on strike as well. Any teachers in the Arizona area, we will cover your cost to the event, but then also you'll have access to spend a couple hours with Reezy understanding what it is to go make an extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, doing stuff on your time, buying stuff at your local Goodwills and your Rosses and your Marshalls. He'll give you the ins and outs, man. So we are honored and blessed to have you on the lineup, dude. I'm so glad to have you with us. Dude,
I'm so pumped. It's going to be so fun. There's nothing that I like doing more than giving knowledge to people that want to receive it. It's really awesome.
I love it, dude. As we close up, brother, where can people find you?
You can check out my YouTube. Just go to reezy.tv. That goes straight to REEZY. Goes straight .tv. Goes straight to my YouTube. And then on any social platform, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Anchor, it's going to be Reezy Resells.
Love it, man. Any closing words of advice for anybody watching or tuning in?
If you want to start learning right now, check out my podcast. I do a Monday night interview show on YouTube, 6 Pacific Standard Time every Monday. I interview other entrepreneurs, but I also put it on the podcast. So if you're busy like I am, I don't have a lot of time to watch videos. tune into the podcast while you're in traffic, while you're driving to work, whatever, and just catch some knowledge.
Love it, brother. Go kiss that beautiful wife and those babies. I will talk to you here soon, my brother. Appreciate you being on.
Awesome. Thank you, Kolby.
I do. Later.